Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. I hope you're doing great. So today, of course, we're gonna talk a lot, or at least I will. Hopefully you'll enjoy it. Yes, I do have the fan on. It's gonna stay on. It is hot, which doesn't make sense because it is cloudy, but either way I need it on, otherwise I'm gonna melt. There's no question about it, so that's why it's on. Hopefully it's not that bad. Today we're going to be talking about Red Rose. This is a series on Netflix and it is actually a British, they describe it as a British horror drama, which it is a good description. I don't know if I would call it horror though. I mean, it kind of is, but it's more suspense to me rather than horror, but they do describe it as that. And it actually was recently added on Netflix last year, but this actually came out on 2022. It's just that last year it was added to Netflix. And as always, as I say, there's only one season. There's 8 episodes on it, and they're pretty short. Some of them are half an hour, some of them are like 40 something minutes, so not that long. I was able to watch it in like 2 days, but that's because I was watching it at work. It's one of the series that I put on my ear to kind of listen to something while I work. So it took me a little bit longer, but I will say this is something that you can easily watch in a day and a half. 2 if you're not watching it throughout the whole day. As always, we start with episode 1. This is 2. 1. So this starts with a girl coming back from school to her home because her mother didn't pick her up, and later on we know that this girl is called Elisa. But in this one, at the beginning, you don't know fully who it is. But her name is Elisa. Later on we figure that out. And again, she's back home and weird things are happening. Lights are going on and off alone. Things are appearing on TV and nobody's doing it. Like, nobody's there to be doing it. It's just doing it alone. And then when the mom gets home, it's kind of late because Elisa jumps off the roof. Of course, she's not alive when she does that. And then the next thing we see is a red screen on her phone, and then it cuts and we go 6 months after that, and we meet a group of friends, which I'll mention all of them now because otherwise we're gonna go a little bit insane. So there is a few of them. We have Rush, Ashley, Ren, Anthony, Noah, and then one person adds, which Rush introduced him to the group, which is called Taz. So there's 6 of them in this group. There's a lot, I know. But they're all together with the other people from the high school because they're all happy that they finished high school essentially, and they're having like their own mini party. And Rush gets a message on her phone from a girl, just a random girl, and it is a link to download this app called Red Rose, which she does. And then the app makes her write 3 wishes on a mirror with red lipstick and take a photo of it with herself in the photo. And she writes wealth, respect, power, and for some reason she adds a 4th one, which is bitches. Who knows why, but she does. And then the app tells her that she has to say red rose, will these things come out of my head. Once she does that, her, not character, but her behavior kind of changes. She's more confident. She started getting these things like a dress and shoes for a party that they were going. At this party that they're having, this is like the 2nd party that they're having because they finished high school, 2nd one. It is in this house of a girl, and the app, there's Rush to kill Noah. Now Noah is Ren's boyfriend. At this point nobody knows that they're together, and Rush says no to it, but then all of a sudden on the TV there's this video that appears of her getting food. I'm guessing it from a place that gives food to like homeless people or people that can't afford that much food. And apparently nobody knows that she does that, because as soon as she sees that, she's like, fuck, I have to do this. So she ends up kissing Noah there, and of course Ren is there, so she says it, and well, everything goes downhill from there essentially. The app again shows Rush her twin sisters. She has twin sisters, and she goes back home running, and she finds them, and they say to her that there's somebody in the house, and Rush is like, okay, I'll go look, you guys stay here. So she starts looking, there's nobody else in the home, not even upstairs. And right there's something that's coming out of her app, of her phone, like a sound, and she realizes it's her mom, Gloria. Now she is dead, she's not alive. That's when the app tells her, welcome to the new you, somebody wants to talk to you. And that's when Gloria starts talking to Rush like nothing. The group can already sense that something is wrong with Rush. This is gonna be confusing. So of course the group knows that something is wrong with her, but she is like, there's nothing, I can take care of it, I will take care of it. So she writes a letter to Ren to meet her. They do meet, and instead of fixing stuff, they just start fighting, because Rush is like telling her, it's not me, it's the app, this and that. She tells her everything essentially, and Ren doesn't believe her. She's like, you're crazy, you're as crazy as your mom. So Ren is like, she doesn't believe her. She's like, you probably just need an exorcist, go to a priest and do that because you're insane, that is not true, blah blah blah. So while this fight is happening, the app is recording it on Rush's phone. Again, the app has access to absolutely everything, so they're doing that, and they end up posting that fight online on Rush profile, I think it was that they posted it. So Vinny and the twins, Vinny, if I don't remember, is Rush's father. He and the twins decide to go on a little trip, leaving Rush alone, and Rush uses this chance to go do an exorcist thing on her phone specifically. And while she's doing that in the middle of the church, we see on the screen on the phone the mom in the back, but in real life she's not there. You can only see her if you see the screen on the phone, and then the screen turns black, and that makes Rush think that it's all gone, there's nothing else, and that the whole exorcist thing that she did worked. The friends, they are worried about Rush because she's absolutely not answering her phone, and they decide to go, but there's no response, and they'll leave. Like, I don't understand the point of this because the friends are worried, but at the same time they're angry at her. They go there, and then in less than a minute they're like, there's no response, I don't care, bye, and they leave. Especially Ren, because she's still angry at Rush. When Vinny comes by with the twins, he finds Rush dead in the tub. Essentially, she committed suicide the same way that her mom did, and Ren cannot believe this. She starts saying that she didn't do that, she didn't do it herself, somebody did it, and the friends are thinking that it is their fault because they didn't do anything to help her. But again, she really didn't let anybody help her. And then Ren receives a message from Rush. She's supposed to be dead, but she gets a message saying, roses are red, violets are blue, here in the garden, I'm waiting for you. And it's the link to download Red Rose. And Ren decides to do it. She installs it because she's like, I'm going to find out what happened to her, and this is the only one. So she ends up doing that. So Ren does the same stuff that Rush did, writing a lipstick on the mirror and all that, saying the same phrase. The only difference with Rush is that when she was saying the phrase, Rush appeared on her phone screen talking to her, and of course this makes her throw away her phone, and no one is actually there, and he says it. And of course he's like, you should stop. And she's like, I won't. More weird stuff keeps happening with Ren. More weird messages from the app making her do stuff, things like that. And the phone is actually using Rush to talk to her, always appearing on screen talking to her, and of course this freaks out. So now Ren is getting hate from everybody because people think that the reason why Rush committed suicide is because Ren and Noah are together, and Ren took the chance from Rush to be with Noah, which of course this makes Ren isolate even more for everybody. And Taz, which is the new guy in the group, is kind of trying to figure out more information about this app, since he's actually trying to help figure out this thing. At least he's trying. So Noah tried to help Ren by talking to these people that are creating all these rumors about Ren and Rush and him and all that, and it doesn't really work out. People really don't care. Even Ren gets there and tries to not really fix it, but like defend herself. It doesn't really work. She ends up fighting with the girls in front of everybody, and of course this is being recorded and posted everywhere, so now people are like, oh my god, you're doing this to get attention, you're using the friends that is dead for attention. So it just makes things even worse than it was before. Taz, the only thing that he's able to figure out was that Elisa, which is the girl from the beginning, had to do something with it. And Ren decides to tell the group what she's doing, because by the point the only ones knowing was not all of them, just a couple, but now all of them know. And then all of a sudden she receives a message being like, come with me if you want to leave tomorrow at 12 p.m. to Manchester. I think that's how you say it. So they all decide to go there together as a group. They think it is the app, but it doesn't make any sense because it's via test. So yeah, that's why they all decide to go together as a group. So when they get there, they end up meeting Yaya. She was on the place where Noah was talking to the girls, trying to calm things down, and she was hearing about Red Rose because they do mention it. And they, Ren ends up telling her about the app, showing it to her, and then all of a sudden when she points her camera, you can see on the screen Rush, and of course this freaks out everybody. And Rush wanted Ren to follow her, so she does, and everybody's following Ren, but they have to keep a distance, otherwise Rush disappears. So they get to like this tunnel, and then Ren goes alone into another part of the tunnel, and she almost dies. She ends up being in the tracks of a train, and before the train hits her, they pull her back, so she doesn't die, but she almost dies. And this makes Rush angry. Like literally on the screen she was like, what the hell did you do that for? You were supposed to die. Yaya, they go back to, I guess, Yaya's safe place. I don't know, she's very like technology kind of a girl. And they go back to this place, and with Yaya is that we learn that this app is linked to the suicide of someone called Jacob Taylor, and that the app basically have access to everything on Ren's phone, which is not a surprise because again, things post themselves without anything. So yeah, so they do go to this Jacob house, parents' house I should say. They meet the mom. Yaya and Ren do go to his room, and they don't find that much. They end up finding a book that has a lot of codes, which Yaya takes. And then Ren gets a message when they are outside already saying, Jacob can help you. He's in the garden with Rush. And also Yaya receives a call all of a sudden on her home that it is supposed to be Jacob, and he says, I hope you found what you were looking for, because Ren, her time is up, which is basically saying that she's going to die anytime soon. They all meet at Taz's house, and Yaya not tells them, she writes down that they should not speak and turn on their phones, which they do, and they end up communicating with very old school phones that supposedly cannot be hacked, but okay. So they also talk about this timer that they saw that it is supposed to be counting down a time that Ren has left until she dies, essentially. So what they decide to do is just stay at home, Taz's home, I should say, and do not go out until that timer runs off, and that should help Ren stay safe. So Yaya is using this book that they found in Jacob's room to kind of figure out this coding thing and see how the app works, see how they can like take it out or make it not work. I don't know. She just wants to know how it works and what she can do to make it disappear. That's basically what she's trying to do with this book. All of a sudden, a bunch of people appears in Taz's house, high school people, because apparently he posted on his profile that he was going to host a party in his house. This is the third party, as far as I remember now. This is the third one that they're doing. Yeah, this is basically the app trying to get Ren out of there, essentially. So it does work. Ren is hidden, but then she goes out, and when everybody goes out, and she goes with Simon. Simon is a guy that her mom was dating, and he is supposed to taking her to where her mom is. No, he's about to kill her. He worked with the app. No, not worked. He was part of the app, and the app was making him kill Ren because the app uploaded child abuse stuff to his phone. It was using that to make him do all of this stuff, and one of the stuff was to kill her. It doesn't work. I think Noah is the one that gets there and saves her, and Simon just ends up jumping off the roof, and of course he doesn't survive. And then they all kind of realize after that, because they think he was the one behind the app, and now that he's unalive, they're safe. There's nothing else with the app. The app doesn't do anything else after that, so they think everything is resolved because he's the one behind it. Anthony goes back to Jacob's mom's house. They kind of clicked the first time that they met, and she ends up giving him a tablet that was from Jacob. And when he shows a video to Yaya, she finds out that there's a website for Red Rose. You can see it in the background, and she ends up using her laptop to get on it, but they need a password. So she stays with the tablet to see all the videos that are on there, to figure out this password that they need to get password that they need to get to this website, because this means it's not over, and that definitely Jacob had to do something with it. And also he keeps mentioning the gardener. I never understood the gardener thing, but he kept mentioning it. So now they're in the fourth party, which this one is in the middle of the woods. I don't know what idea it was, but it's literally in the middle of the woods. They all go there. Yaya is drunk. She ends up telling Ren about the website. They didn't want to, but she's drunk, so she ends up doing it. Of course, Ren gets angry and leaves. Yaya is able to figure out the password, by the way, because Jacob was actually in love with Elisa, which is the girl from the beginning. So she figures out after watching more videos that the password is actually "I love you too." And when she gets in, she sees a lot of cameras, so it is a lot of people that have this app downloaded, that the app is using the camera to see what they're doing, and then on the other side is a bunch of screens of people. I don't remember how many it was, but it's just people watching this live. So there's people watching this live and seeing these people die. They essentially want to see everybody die, and they're using the app to do that. And then I'm guessing the gardener saw the Yaya got in, so it displays a message on the screen saying you're not supposed to be here. Everything was black, and then Yaya turns around. She's in her room. She turns around and she sees that there's fire in the house and that she's about to die. And then we also see that actually, for some reason that I really don't understand why her, she is pushed down on a cliff and she starts rolling down and she hits herself with a rock on the head. She's a very random person to do this. I really don't know why they decided to do that. I would believe it more with Noah because he's closer to Ren, but of course the police is no help here. They don't believe Ren. They are more focused on Ren's biological father, Ricky I think it was called, because he actually went to jail already for manslaughter, I think it was, something like that. So they think it is him, and Ren is like, no, it's that, but they don't really believe her. They must focus on Rick. So in the hospital, they're all there now, and they decide to trash their phones, turn them off. I think they put it in a bucket of water or something like that. They decide to put an end to everything, so they were all going to go to their house, pick up the necessary stuff that they need, and meet in the hospital. Now they all do this. Weird things happen here and there while they're doing that, not too much, but they all get there. Noah is the only one that gets captured by this woman, but she lets him go. She's like, the gardener was somebody to die, so I'm letting you go, and she lets him go. So I don't know why, even in the first place you will do that, but okay. They'll actually get to the hospital, except Ren. Ashley is there. Taz is all this time with Ashley until her parents got in, and then when he goes back, Ashley's not there anymore. It was taken, I'm guessing, by somebody from the app. I don't know who. But Yaya actually calls Taz because she's alive. She was able to get out of the house before it was burned down. And she's the one that helps Taz financially, and she's the one that helps the rest of the group that is already in the hospital find where Ren is going, because Ren doesn't get there because she gets this message from the app saying that she should go to a place, well, not from the app, from Rush, saying that she should go to Le Mans Crescent because her father was captured, and Ren wants to save her father, I guess, so she goes there, and Yaya is helping the whole group, you know, telling them where Ren is going so they can go and help her or save her, or however you want to call it. So, getting to the last part of this whole thing. Yes, we are getting to the end of this. Finally, at the end, I tell you exactly what happened to that. I will be reading a lot of this because it can be confusing to me. So let's see if I can get this. So, 10 months ago, Jacob was a student, and of course he was in love with Elisa, as I said, and he's the one that created Red Rose. Red Rose was originally to be in a way for him to observe, and he could talk to his friends, which are the same ones that are seeing everybody's phone and stuff, talk to them about Elisa and how he can approach her and all of that. He creates it, and he's the one that sends the link to Elisa so she can download the app, and he uses it to create responses, talk to her, get to know her, and he uses this information to kind of talk to her in real life and kind of make it seem like they have things in common, and he can talk to the other people on the chat and help him and all of that stuff. And one day they are pushing him to confess. Because they did this, he decided to kind of change the code, but what he ended up doing is changing it so much that he gets access to everything on Elisa's phone, even the cameras. He almost saw her naked, but that didn't happen. He took it off immediately. But either way, he does end up confessing to her the next day. Doesn't go well at all. She's like, I don't feel the same way for you. So of course he goes back home talking to these people, angry because they all start laughing at him because he actually did it and all that. And this gets him angry. He gets out of the website and the gardener actually called him. And he's like, hey, I'm sorry that happened to you. The ideas are here, you just need to tweak it a little bit more. If you give me access, I can help you with it, and then we can keep going and try again. So Jacob changes again the code, making the gardener admin, and that way he can change stuff that he's selling. So a few weeks pass after that, and Jacob notices that Elisa's behavior again changed completely. She's being more paranoid, scared, all of that. And when he goes back home and logs into the page, he sees that everybody's watching Elisa in her house scare. So what he's seeing on the screen is the same stuff that we were seeing at the very beginning of episode 1, how everything started. And he is trying to help by changing codes and stuff like that, but there really isn't nothing else, and she does end up dying the same way and all that stuff. Yeah, of course Jacob tries to like threaten the gardener, but really that doesn't work. So I'm guessing he also kills himself or something because of it. That's what I'm guessing. So another thing that we see later on in a room where Ryan is that the gardener finally reveals that Rush didn't actually commit suicide. She was killed by a man. A man went into the bathroom and killed her. It made it look like it was a suicide, just the same way that her mom killed herself, to kind of make it look like she did the same thing. So of course this makes Ren angry, and she goes to where the gardener is, and that's where her father is as well. And the gardener is a white bald guy. I've never seen this man throughout the whole series, not that I can remember. So he was a very random guy. The whole time I was like, who are you? Haven't seen you. Maybe he was in the background and I didn't see him, but I never saw this man throughout the whole series. It is a very random person. He looks scary as hell, but it's very random. I really don't remember seeing him in the background or any other places, maybe, and I should have noticed, but I really didn't. Yeah, what ended up happening is Yaya, because she's in the page, she ends up deleting everything, which kind of distracts the gardener because he was showing that live to everybody to see. So she ends up doing that. Of course this kind of distracts the gardener, and Rain uses this time to kill him. I think she just kept hitting his head until he was dead, and the father is the one that stops her and be like, stop, give me that, you need to go. So her father takes the blame for everything because the police arrest him to kind of save her. So I'm guessing he's going to jail again, and I'm also thinking that he was in jail for manslaughter, whatever he was, that he actually didn't do it. I had to believe that, but he does that again to kind of save her. Yaya sees the woman, the same woman that captured Noah, and she's like, you are the real gardener, but she doesn't confirm it, neither says that's not true. And then Yaya asks her if everything is over, and she just doesn't respond, she just goes. So in a way it's making us think that everything is not really over and that she's probably the gardener, and the other guy was just a puppet or something, I don't know. But everything ends with a scene in Tokyo, and there's this guy receiving a message, the same one. He then slows the upright rose. This time is different. It is white and gold. The other one was like black and red. So that's essentially how everything ends. That's the whole series. What do you think of it? I liked it, and I'm not really into horror stuff. I don't consider there's too much horror. It has a few things, but I see it more as suspense. For me, horror is another thing. This one I see more as a suspense, but if you do like horror stuff or suspense stuff, this is a good thing to watch on Netflix. It is fun. There's not really jump scares, which, believe me, I'm the most horrible person to be watching horror stuff with. I get scared over everything, so I really didn't get scared watching this. That's probably why I don't think it is a horror series. But there really isn't that many jump scares. If there is some, it is more because of the music that they're playing, or something that happens very quickly, but not like the normal horror stuff that happens that literally make you want to punch the TV. Nothing like that really. So if you don't mind that kind of stuff, I think it is a good series to watch. I do like that they do kind of touch on a few things, few topics. Some are more explored than others, some are not really done properly. But I do like that the main one, that was the phones, and how we are all glued to the phone and downloading weird things without thinking of the consequences, or doing stuff without thinking of what can happen if we do. I do kind of like how they made that look in the series, and also us not thinking that, you know, whatever we post can kind of affect other people. So those kind of things that have to do with like phone and technology and all of that, it was well put. There were a few things that I was like, why did you even add this? Like, for example, throughout the whole series, Anthony, which is one of the friends, is gay, and during the whole series he is talking to this man doing rap, and almost met one in person. Yeah, I'm guessing that side was more showing the whole dating app thing and how dangerous it can be, but I don't think they did it fully enough. I don't think it fits what the series is supposed to be, and I don't think they do it fully enough that makes an impact, because it was very random things here and there. If it was not really focused on but done better, maybe, but it wasn't, in my opinion. Again, there hasn't been anything about a second season. I don't think they will. I don't think Netflix is going to like pick it up or something, or do a second season. I don't think it's necessary, unless they decide to put it on another place or make it worldwide or something like that. I don't think there's a necessity. The real gardener, if it is the woman, is still out there, so you know, maybe there can be something for the second season, but I don't think they will. I just think they just added this on Netflix and done. So I don't think there's a second season for this. I don't think it's necessary, really. The way that this one is and ends, it is totally fine. In a way, the gardener, if it is the woman, again, it's still out there. It is a good way to be saying that these things are going to keep happening, because all of these people that do this are still out there. So that is kind of a good ending for it as well. So yeah, I don't think a second season is necessary. But if anybody has seen this Red Rose series on Netflix, let me know what you think of it. If you haven't, you end up watching it, again, let me know what you think of it, and let me know if you're gonna watch it or not. I'm gonna leave this here. I am tired. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you're doing great, taking care of yourselves, and I will see y'all on the next one.